Hello everyone, thanks for coming outside with me today. It's a hot one here in September here in central Pennsylvania. It's hard to believe that across the state some counties have already opened up their whitetail season, but for me here in the northern and central counties, I'm stuck getting excited about things like getting out in the backyard and shooting, as well as Bowhunter Box Club September unboxing. Just like I said in the last video, if you like what you see here and you want to think about getting your own Bowhunter Box Club, follow the links in the description below and use the promo code AJA to take $10 off your first purchase. So enough of me flapping my gums, let's just get to the stuff inside the box. So right off the package here we have a CRKT eating tool. We have a honey stinger organic caramel waffle, bone collector with dead ringer bona fide multi-piece kit. Looks like we have some string wax, some serving material, some D-loop material called brass knocks, and even a peep. That's super useful this time of year. Phone Scope's antler tape. That's actually pretty nice. I'm not one to get wild about antlers, but I'm going to talk about how I think I might actually end up using this more for other projects around the shop. And then last but certainly not least, CRKT. This is a knife. I'm actually really excited about this knife. It looks like it's pretty legit. We'll just kind of briefly pull it out of the package here. A lot of weight to this knife. It just feels incredibly solid, incredibly sturdy. Not a super huge folding blade, definitely enough for me to get in my hand. It looks pretty sharp, both cosmetically as well as the actual blade retention. We'll take a stare at that further. And then of course the card for the total value of the box is $80 this month. The Noma knife is $50, the tuning kit is $15, the eating tool is $8, Phone Scope antler tape is $5, and the stinger waffle is $2. We'll go from cheapest to most expensive. We'll save the best for last, if you will. Of course, honey stinger, if you work in the outdoor industry and you've possibly even eaten some of these foods, these are high carb, super high energy foods for you to be out in the woodsy, whether you're camping or whether you're in the stand. We spent a lot of time here in Pennsylvania in cold weather. I'm always looking for snacks. Snickers bars tend to be my go-to, but I've always wanted to try out honey stinger products, and this is definitely right up my alley. Let's talk about the Phone Scope antler tape here for a second. One thing I'm always trying to find just for general use for hunting, fishing, camping, and all that sort of stuff is just a soft-sided measuring tape. You know, you can take an actual measuring tape, a stiff one, a metal one out in the woods with you in other different places, but these are just so compact and so easy, really super lightweight. Now it is plastic, but there is an internal metal spring in here, of course. It goes out to several feet in length, goes out to a total of 60 inches, so it's 5 foot long. Plenty of distance if you need to measure fish, if you need to measure certain things for camping. Throw this in your glove box, throw it in your pack. It's super easy, super lightweight. Definitely wouldn't want to be something you want to bash or drop out of a tree too often, but this is more than just measuring antlers, although that's definitely what it's intended for. There are a lot of different uses for a tape this size. Another piece of camping equipment here is this CRKT eating tool. I'm not one to camp, like it's not really my thing. I don't really backwoods it that often, but I do find that when I do go out to deer camp, there right after Thanksgiving, we're kind of in a very rural area. We're in a very out in the middle of nowhere camp. We're often eating off plastic things, and sometimes the guy forgets to bring plates and silverware. So this would be a beneficial thing to have when we might go out to camp. Comes with its own little carrying carabiner. This is incredibly sturdy. It's not nearly as flimsy as I thought it would be. This is made out of 3 CR13 stainless steel, and of course it's coated with the orange. This thing's going to last quite some time as long as you don't lose it. And actually it looks like you could use it pretty easily. Also has a bottle opener on it because, deer camp. Definitely a nice little handy eating tool, whether you're a backpacker, camper, or you just want to take it out to camp or even in the deer woods with you if that's something you really need. Of course, working on my own equipment, this Bone Collector bona fide multi-piece kit is right up my alley. Like I said, you have bowstring wax, serving string, a 1/4 inch peep, which is the perfect size for most hunters. It lets in a lot of light so you can easily see your pins even in those dark moments. D-loop material, it's really important that you check your D-loop. A lot of guys let them go pretty fray, they get pretty worn down, they get pretty flimsy. It's easy to replace them at home. You don't even need a press or your own workshop. I often find that sometimes I have to replace my D-loop before I have to replace my string, because it's the one that gets all the action from hooking on my several different types of releases. It gets all the wear and tear, so it's good to have an extra piece of that on hand if you already don't, and you can never have too much bowstring wax. I use them for not only strings, but also I put them on screws so they don't seize between a steel screw and an aluminum riser. I use them for all my quiver brackets so they don't rust. I use them on the threads of my broadhead so they don't come loose inside the quiver when I'm bumping my bow through the woods. So bowstring wax has more uses than just being put on a string. Let's check out this bad boy here for a second. This is one well-built knife. I'm not a knife guy, so when I get a knife, I want it to work. I don't want to buy something cheap. I don't want to have something cheap that I'm either taking in the woods, taking to camp, or even really using around the shop or around the house. This is the Noma knife by CRKT. Incredibly thick blade, incredibly rigid. It does have a lock to it. It does have a thumbnail opening, although I typically with a blade this large will just grab it with two hands anyway. Click that open. Has a good little bit of texture to the grip. Nothing outrightly weird, so it's not going to snag in your pocket or snag inside your bag somewhere, but it will definitely give you a better grip. I like that it has the ability to have one hand, although I probably wouldn't, grip it with all four fingers like this. They'd probably use it in a much more cutting style with my grip. It's a really nice knife to have. It does have a pocket clip on the side. You can also flip it. It does have bracket on the other side, so if you do want to wear it with the curve of your leg, either the left pocket or the right pocket, you can definitely do that as well. Just real quick, right out of the box, let's see if it'll kind of shave some hair off the side of my wrist and side of my hand, and oh yeah, it does. Wow. I'm going to be bald as a cue ball down here. That is shaving hair off the entire length of the blade. That's really nice. The knives towards the tip end up being the least sharp, and that's where you do most of your cutting, right? When you're going to go in, you're going to go gut an animal, you want that to be a nice, clean, sharp cut. You don't want it to be dull, and you're trying to force it through. You end up puncturing the intestines and the stomach and all that sort of stuff. You really don't want to be doing that. This also would probably do really well as a great skinning and even as a deboning knife. When it comes to breaking down a whitetail, you really don't need anything more than about a 3, maybe a 4-inch blade at the most. I will have to definitely test it out and see what the edge retention over the long span is, but I'm definitely going to be using this in the woods this fall. This has been a great addition to the September box for Bowhunter Box Club. So that's all for this video. If you ever have any questions, hit me up on my many social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, here on YouTube. You can even leave me an email from the links in the description below. Hope you're able to get outside and enjoy the sport of archery. Enjoy the sport of archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation, and we'll get to see you next time.